And welcome everyone to our webinar this month. Let's go over our agenda. First, we're going to define tutoring a bit. Then we'll venture into the benefits of tutoring, why tutoring matters. We'll talk about 3 different types of tutoring. We'll talk about some tutoring techniques that tutors use with students. And then we'll look at a couple of success stories from our tutoring services provided in the OASC. Then we'll talk about some challenges in tutoring and how to overcome them. And then we'll wrap it up with a bit of a summary, and we'll also have a Q&A. So just a reminder of who we are. DANTES and Peterson's work together with our service members, user input from the OASC to provide a prescriptive academic skills course. All right, so we're gonna have a bit of an icebreaker to get to know y'all a little bit better. Miss Emily will provide us with some poll questions here. Someone has their hand raised, yes. Oh, for a moment there, I thought books was going to win. Let's see. Got any more votes coming in? All right, so your favorite type of learning material overall, out of all of them, you all chose videos. And then a close second was books, which I'm a bit surprised, but also happy to see. I also love books. And then we have online resources. Okay, so we're gonna move on to our next icebreaker. Poll question 2, how has your understanding of the OASC changed throughout the year? So I want you guys to think about the webinars that we've had so far throughout this year. It looks like our voting is on the extreme ends. We have people who understand a lot more. And then we have the other half of our population today. Some have slightly improved their understanding. Well, I hope that as you continue to come to our webinars, that we can enhance your understanding of the OASC. All right, so let's move on. Tutoring defined. So tutoring defined. What is tutoring? And also, how does tutoring help? What is tutoring? As you may know, tutoring is additional academic or skill development support from a more experienced person. So typically this is a subject matter expert who is an expert on specific content. Maybe it's math, English, science, IT, any subject that you can think of. It's also about helping students to understand their own learning processes and supporting them in learning in the way that works best for them. So a tutor can help identify which ways the student learns best, different ways to attack a specific problem, because typically there's more than one way to solve a problem. So how does tutoring help? Tutoring helps learners catch up. So students who are looking to catch up, they're often behind a bit on their educational benchmarks and need support with building back their lost learning. Tutors also help with keeping up throughout the year. Now, sometimes students may be struggling with a few key concepts or skills. They may be at risk of falling behind on their educational benchmarks. For instance, a student who's using the OASC really needs that certificate and needs a lot of help keeping up with the BSEP content, for instance. And then tutors also help with enrichment. So these are students who are already doing well, but they just need a little bit of a more challenge so they can have that extra edge and get ahead in their academic career. So what are the benefits of tutoring? First, there's personalized attention, improved academic performance, confidence building, and it enhances flexibility. So with personalized attention, this is one of the most significant benefits of tutoring. It provides, of course, personalized attention. That way, the tutor can give someone step-by-step instructions on how to attack a specific issue or a problem. Like typically in a classroom, or let's say a BSEP instruction, the teachers may not have the time or resources to give each student the individualized attention that they need. Sometimes there's like a class of 20 plus people, you know? So in this case, the free tutoring services that are provided in the OASC allows for a one-on-one personalized setting. And this can help students get the support that they need to succeed. And of course, there's improved academic performance. With personalized, tailored approach to learning, tutors can identify areas where a student may be struggling and provide targeted assistance to help overcome those challenges. This can improve academic performance and also personal growth, because sometimes the skills that we learn with tutors, we can apply to our day-to-day life. So with improved academic performance, it often encourages higher levels of thinking, and it also improves the student or learner's attitude towards a specific subject area. So that leads us to building confidence. Now, as they begin to understand these concepts and see improvements in their academic performance, service members, learners, they may feel more confident in their abilities and more motivated to continue the learning process. So with confidence building, this is going to increase their motivation to learn in order to maintain a new role, whether that be reclassification, increases their ability to manage their own learning and study strategies. So it may help with time management. Of course, it increases subject-specific knowledge, and that helps people feel more confident talking about those things in front of others and in group settings. Flexibility. Tutoring can be more flexible than traditional classroom learning, of course, as it allows for scheduling that is best for the students. Now, students can use the OASC free tutoring services 24/7, 365 days a week. This can be particularly helpful for students with a super busy schedule or needing additional support outside of their typical working hours. Flexibility helps to motivate self-paced and self-directed learning, which goes very well with the online academic skills course. So let's talk about our different types of tutoring. We have group tutoring, one-on-one tutoring, and online tutoring. So with group tutoring, this allows learners to learn from each other while being instructed by a subject matter expert. Now, this can actually take place with the OASC if service members are doing their academic skills training with other service members. They can log on to the OASC themselves, click on the online tutoring, and have a group session with a tutor. We have our one-on-one tutoring. Yes, this offers a more individualized, systematic, and structured learning experience because the tutor can focus on the needs and of the academic needs of one person at a time. And so here we have a photo of what it looks like when students click on the tutoring services in the OASC. All right, so now we have our online tutoring, which is offered in the OASC. This is when tutoring takes place over internet connection. These sessions can be one-on-one or it could be a small study group, as I mentioned earlier. But here's a video.
How to use live on-demand tutoring in the online academic skills course. Join your fellow service members already using free live on-demand tutoring in the OASC to get the help they need to achieve their goals. The OASC live tutoring focuses on specific concepts and questions to ensure success in a particular area of study. Are you looking for a little extra help while studying for the AFCT or getting your OASC certificate? If so, start by logging into the OASC. If you've never used OASC before, you'll need to complete the introduction module, at least the first 4 pre-assessment sections, and the skills and strategies for self-learning module. Now you're ready to click the live tutoring tab. It is recommended to have a specific question in a subject area ready to get connected with an experienced tutor. To connect with a tutor, click the Get Started button. You will be met by a Connect with the Live Tutor button where you will specify the subject area that your submitted problem relates to. From here, type in the exact question with as much detail as possible. The more questions and advice you ask, the better the help your tutor can provide. Most learners are connected with a tutor in 27 seconds on average. And since the live on-demand tutoring is free, you may connect with as many tutors with as many questions as it takes to get the score you want. Spanish-speaking tutors are usually available upon request. For example, you may want to ask your tutor, I am having trouble understanding scientific notation. I would like to work through some multiple choice practice problems with the tutor. Now you're ready to get the help you need. Tutors average a score of 4.85 out of 5 and are committed to providing you with all the tools you need to get the score you want, generally spending 44 minutes each lesson on average. Once you feel like you have mastered the material from the tutoring session, you are ready to practice on your own, whether using OASC or another educational tool. Connect with another tutor and master as many subjects as you need to reach your goals. For technical support, please reach out to support@petersons.com for more assistance.
All right, I hope you all enjoyed that. It looks like we have some questions in the chat. Let's see, Aaron Roberts. If a student finds a tutor they work well with, can they request this tutor when needing help? You know, I'm not 100% about that, but I have seen in the platform that a lot of the students who log in at a specific time for a specific subject are typically paired with the same person. So I hope that answers your question. And then can I share the video link for this? I can give this to Erin for her to put onto the DANTES website. Additionally, this video can be found in the OASC platform, especially on the admin side. I believe there's a video library that you can find in the tabs. And we have all of our videos on online tutoring, an overview of the OASC, as well as a review of our resources and practice tests that are offered. I hope that answers your question, Velma. Okay.
How to use.
So let's talk about some tutoring techniques that are used. Great, I see a thumbs up, appreciate that. So some tutoring techniques that are used are assessing the students' strengths and weaknesses. So whether it's the tutoring style, are they best with flashcards? Are they best with logical explanations? Are there weaknesses in word problems? From there, the tutor can emphasize those areas and make sure that the student is getting what they need. From there, they can often develop a customized learning plan. They can put a nice little step-by-step, individualized, personalized plan together for them. Because a lot of times when it comes to goals, it's a lot easier to plan it in steps versus just going straight to the goal line. So they often build a positive rapport with the student. And I have seen this in some of the tutoring sessions. We'll look at some success stories here in a bit on how the tutors are encouraging to the users. They also encourage critical thinking and problem-solving skills. So they continuously engage with the subject matter. Even when the student is having some trouble, they try to encourage them to think logically about the problem. And of course, they use some creative teaching methods to accomplish this goal. Now, with tutoring in the OASC, the tutors have a whiteboard they can use to show visually how math problems specifically go about. And I think they have a new feature now to where students can talk to them with their voice. So let's talk about some success stories. I pulled a couple of tutoring sessions for us to look at. So we have two examples of math. So the student asks, well, gives the number. The tutor says, oh, you got it right, and now you just need to put the decimal in there. The tutor says, perfect. So instead of saying, oh, you got it wrong simply because you didn't put the decimal in there, the tutor encouraged them, told them, you got the numbers right. Now all you got to do is place that decimal in there and it's perfect, And that way, that builds confidence in the student. The tutor says, you solved it all by hand, The student says, okay, thank you. Let me write down your formula one moment. So that's encouraging planning on their behalf. The student is becoming proactive in their studies. So tutor gives a final answer. The student says, awesome, thank you so much for your patience. And they say, you're welcome. That right there is how you build a positive rapport. Then we have another math session example. Student says, I can watch from your share screen, which is a great way to overcome some of the communication barriers in tutoring, to share your screen. Now, tutor says, I can multiply each side by 4. Student 72, tutor goes, yeah. They go on through. The student says, I was close. I should have simplified that first. The tutor says, you know what, you did a great job anyways. And the student says, thank you. Why? Because the student is trying to understand the problem. They haven't given up. They're continuing to move forward in accomplishing their goal of figuring out this problem. So here's an English instruction tutoring session where the student actually took a screenshot of the problem that they were working on in the OASC that they were having difficulty understanding. So they took the screenshot, they uploaded it into the chat for the tutor to see. Student goes, okay, look at this. They are so confused. The tutor asked them, where should you use the comma? Student goes, when there is a run-on sentence, which is, of course, right. So it gives them a method of trying to figure out where the comma goes in the sentence first. Tutor goes, what's the difference between the first two? The student gets it correct. And that's really just an example of kind of a creative teaching method. Because instead of saying, oh, you just put the comma there, they're asking, when should you use the comma? Versus just telling them what to do. All right, so some of the challenges in tutoring. We have some communication barriers sometimes. Sometimes it's lack of resources. And then time management. That's kind of difficult for a lot of us. So with our communication barriers, let's say we have an ESL service member. They can usually find a Spanish-speaking tutor to work with. And then Tutor.me also has the option for voice or text chat. So if the service member is in a very loud area and they're trying to study, they can opt to text and chat, take snapshots, and share those with their tutor versus speaking to them. Or if they prefer talking to them, they can do that as well. Another barrier is sometimes access to technology. In order to use the OASC and to get to the tutoring services, the service member will need either a PC, tablet, or mobile device. I believe in one of the surveys that I recently looked over from our service members, it looked like a lot of people are using tablets, which I thought was very interesting. Also, there's access to internet connections. I know there are some Wi-Fi deserts out there, and the service members still need to keep up with their academic skills. So the OASC mobile can be downloaded for offline use so that they don't fall behind on their studies. Then, of course, there's academic guidance. That's you all. That's the ESOs, the counselors, the educators. Sometimes it's hard to get in touch with you all because you're super busy. So students need other options to accomplish their goals sometimes, like reaching out to a subject matter expert. Then, of course, there's time management. This can be challenging. This setting reminders, alerts, and planning can help learners accomplish their goals and take control of their academic progress. Making out lists and prioritizing activities, making sure to set notifications in their phone. I know I use my calendar a lot. My Google Calendar is my savior for a lot of my time management problems. All right, so let's do a bit of a summary. Let's wrap it up a bit. We'll do a bit of a recap. We'll talk about where to find tutoring the OASC, the marketing and service members, and then we'll have a short Q&A. So what have we learned so far about tutoring? Tutoring is additional academic or skill development support for a more experienced person, from a more experienced person, like a subject matter expert. Then we learned there are many benefits to using tutoring services, such as personalized attention, improved academic performance, and confidence building. We also learned that there are several different types of tutoring, and the OASC offers free on-demand online tutoring, be one-on-one, or if the service members opt to have a small group, they could do that as well. Then we discussed some of the challenges that may occur and how and some methods that can be taken to manage these challenges that occur through tutoring. Okay, so this is just essentially a screen share of how to find the tutoring in the platform. Here you can see my mouse video. I'm looking around. Where is it? Where do I click? Oh, there it is, live tutoring. Click on live tutoring. The user will then click on get started. They'll see this screen and they'll connect with a live tutor. Go ahead and pick a subject and type in their question or topic. Some of you may be wondering, how do I find these marketing materials? We have a video of where to find them. I'm going to go to dantes.petersons.com. I'm going to scroll down a bit to where it says admin resource forum. You can either order prints or you can download the files yourself and print them off. That is an option. And we have our prints right there. Okay, now these materials will be available at PDI this year. There will be print piece 1, which is our informational flyer that lists out everything that you need to know about the OS. Then we have our print piece 2 that tells you what you need to know about our mobile app. Yes, I can in a moment, Emily. And then we have posters that will be available. These are kind of large. I think they're nice. Okay, so here's our Q&A. Of course, please feel free to contact our technical support team by phone. That's 1-800-338-3282. And then our email, support@petersons.com. So I'm going to look over into the chat for some questions. Okay. Emily wants me to speak to the Spanish speaking tutor service. So in that drop-down menu where you're choosing a tutor, you can select a Spanish speaking tutor. There's an option for it. Hope that answers the question there. Are there any other questions about today's presentation or about tutoring services or about the OASC in general? All right, looks like we're good to go. Right, as you all know, the biggest upcoming event for y'all right now is definitely going to be PDI, May 23rd through the 24th. And of course, just a reminder, again, you'll have access to those marketing materials. There'll also be pens available and also clips for clipping chips or bags together. And then you guys can stay updated on all things DANTES at this website here. Thank you to these wonderful references, South Central College and Tutor Doctor.